Hello, how is everybody? I hope you're all having such an incredible day so far. Me and Miffy are having a fabulous day, and it will only get better from this because today we are going to be making my personal curriculum. I'm so freaking excited. I have been binging so many personal curriculum videos, and I think it is such a good idea. And I'm always trying to further enhance, build my knowledge, and curriculums really help, and just structured ways of learning really help me with it, really help me stay on track. So I'm gonna bring you guys along just constructing my personal curriculum. So I've already kind of come up and brainstormed a couple of ideas that I want to do, but I really just want to set up a proper way of formatting it and everything. I'm doing it on a mix of Notion because I'm trying to get better at organizing everything, especially a place where I can just fit all my YouTube ideas, scheduling, and things that I want to learn like this. And then I've just bought this beautiful notebook that I'm using for my book of shadows. Okay, so I've got 4 topics that I want to add to my personal curriculum. So the first one is, I guess this is kind of a lot of topics within the one topic, but it's witchcraft, tarot, and divination. I've been practicing tarot reading since the start of this year, so around 6 months, and I really just want to hone in on that. That's the number one thing that I want to get out of in this. I've already kind of started on this. I started last night. I wrote down meanings of cards, and then I was just going through and trying to memorize the meanings. Let's do a practice, okay? We'll pick out one, and then we'll see if I can remember the meaning. Okay, 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups is a time for celebration. It's a time for achievement, joy, but there is still more to come. I want to set myself up some assignments to do so that I really do it. And a lot of them will be YouTube based because that really gives me motivation to complete these. And also I just love sharing my journey with you guys and being able to look back on it in the future, just see, oh my god, when I was a little baby witch, this is what I was doing. And I just think it's so cute. The next one is Auslan. I have been learning sign language. I have been really learning it for the last year. That's when but I have been doing it personally, just on my own for around 6 months now. But that one's really important for me because I do want to be a teacher of the deaf in the future. I'm studying to be a teacher, and that's my final goal. Also, my aunt is deaf and my uncle is deaf, so I really just want to be able to communicate with them more. Next is cinematography and video editing. I want to get better at YouTube, and I also just love learning about film. I love film in general. I think it's so incredible. I love learning about even in my old English classes, I loved learning about how different shots can communicate meaning, or just vibes, feelings, emotions. Find it very interesting. So I want to be able to use that within my own creative hobbies. And then finally, women's studies. I just called it women's studies because it truly is anything and everything that I am interested within this topic, and I'm interested in a lot. So I'm gonna go through, do a little bit more, flesh them out a little bit. Okay, I just finished that. I think it is looking very fabulous. I wanted to share some of the assignments and my syllabus that I'm using for it, but this is the fat chunk of books that I'm going to read. So we've got, for my women's studies, I've got Women in Madness, which I have already started, and this has been really interesting so far. It's been talking about lots of stuff. It's been talking about goddesses. It's been talking about iconic women that were demonized for their mental health, like Sylvia Plath, Virginia Woolf. So this has been very interesting so far, and it's got a chapter that I'm looking forward to reading. I've also got this one, which is All I Ever Wanted to Be Was Hot, which is all about patriarchal beauty standards, which I'm also very interested in. For my assignments for this one, you guys will be seeing, I mean, if you choose to continue to watch my channel, which I love it, subscribe if you want to. It's not only about like bad women things, I guess, like just things that oppress women. I also really want to learn about everything to do with periods. I think it's very fascinating. As a teacher in the future, I want to be able to support the future women that I teach, because I do want to like teach like 5th, 6th grade when they start getting their periods and whatnot, and I don't want it to be a subject of shame. I want it to be something that's really beautiful, because I know when I got my period I was incredibly scared and everything, and that I just want to learn about in general. So I also want to read Virginia Woolf's A Room of Her Own. I really want to learn about like the politics of pink. Pink is my favorite color, but I do remember a time where I was like felt like I couldn't like that color, especially when I was younger. I don't know why, but I'm interested in that. Also burlesque, I have been obsessed with burlesque lately. I've been so obsessed with Dina Monteith, and I want to take a burlesque class. And then I adore the show Fleabag, and she kind of continuously brings up this point of a woman's body and how that can kind of change her stance on feminism in a way. Like she has that one line that's, would you trade 5 years of your life for a perfect body? And they both put their hands up and they're like, we're bad feminists. So I'd be very interested in kind of exploring that. And I would love to make like a scrapbooking page on like significant women in my life, as well as ones that I've learned about, ones that have been just significant to like women's studies in general. Auslan, I want to watch The Sound of Metal. I want to organize my Auslan tutoring again, and then I want to be practicing Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, so just every 2 days, because I find it very hard to like stick to something if I don't have like a plan to stick to it, you know. But I also want to read this book that my grandpa got me, Seeing Voices. Cinematography, I'm not really going to explain what I want to do for that. I want to watch The Substance, Moonlight, and I'm very interested in Petra Collins' work and art, so I want to look at all of that. And then witchcraft and tarot, my syllabus, crystals. This is all about crystals, healing with crystals, the way that crystals work, whatever. Then we've got moon spells. One of my assignments is doing something to do with witchcraft or tarot per week. This week I did my tarot cards yesterday, and then next week I'm doing stuff for the new moon, and I'm also looking at like this like astral projection thing with my dad, which I'm very excited for. And then magic and witchcraft. And I also want to create, because I've got all of these like months that have already passed within my book of shadows, so I want to write down what I want to learn, as well as do a scrapbooking page. But I really like this because it's got like the calendar, so I can like, I've got, obviously I just got it so it's not very full, but I've got like just different dates that I've like done things, which I think is really good for tracking, seeing my progress and seeing how consistent I'm being. And then for my tarot card learning, I really want to learn 2 minor arcana like numbers per day. So like yesterday I learned the aces and the 2s, and then this morning I learned the 3s, and I'll do like the 4s tonight. So that is my goal for that. And then I want to start giving like random people tarot card readings, because I feel like that's just the best way to get practice. You know, I only have so many friends that I can do it on, but you know, a random baddie at a cafe, I'm sure she would love a tarot card reading. And I also think that would just help with my fear of social speaking. So 2 birds, 1 stone, 1 tarot card reading, period. And yeah, that is my personal curriculum, but I'm gonna do my little scrapbooking now.